With ceasefire talks between Sudan's army and the Rapid Support Forces reportedly making progress, the United Nations is urging countries with influence in Africa to help end the conflict. Volker Turk is the UN's human rights chief.
I take this opportunity to urge all states with influence in the region to encourage by all possible means the resolution of this crisis.
Turk added that both sides in the conflict had, quote, trampled international humanitarian law. The UN Human Rights Council narrowly passed a Western-backed motion Thursday to increase monitoring of human rights abuses in Sudan. No African country voted in favor of the initiative. Ceasefire talks are taking place in the Saudi port of Jeddah, and U.S. mediators said on Wednesday they were cautiously optimistic. In public, neither side has shown it is ready to offer concessions to end the fighting. Sudan's Forces of Freedom and Change, a political group leading a plan to transfer to civilian rule, said they welcomed the talks. The priority is for silencing the sound of gunfire to address the humanitarian problem, Executive Committee member Khalid Omer Youssef told Reuters. Hundreds of civilians have been killed since the fighting erupted last month.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony. The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting.